On the 101st episode of the HatTrick Sports Podcast, we're going to be talking about the NBA Finals and how they are right around the corner. We have some MLB news and updates. The NHL Stanley Cup playoffs are taking place, and actually the finals are coming up. We're going to be ranking the top 5 MLB farm systems and ending it off with some Hall of Fame. Yay or nay? Roll it! Welcome to HatTrick Sports, starring your host, Isaiah Carpenter. Bringing you the biggest sports headlines every week. This is the HatTrick Sports Podcast. We're going to get started with the NBA. All right, we officially have our finals matchup. It is going to be the Thunder versus the Pacers, and the Thunder are going to win. We'll get more on that soon. But since it's the finals, there's no more inside the NBA on TNT, whatever you want to call it. And it's kind of sad. We knew about it. I was talking about this literally probably close to exactly a year ago. We were talking about how inside the NBA on TNT was their contract with TNT was basically up and they didn't renew it. There's a whole bunch of business stuff. Go read it if you want. It's actually kind of interesting, except I'm not fully educated on the topic. Again, I did a whole bunch of research last year. Go watch the TikTok from last year and the podcast from last year. But NBA on TNT is no more. They've been doing it since 1990. I mean, Ernie's been on forever, and then obviously Shaq when he retired. There's all four of those guys. But the thing is, it's gonna still be kind of like inside the NBA, except it's just going to be on a different network. So I think Disney technically owns it now, and whether they put it on ABC or ESPN, again, I'm not exactly sure how this was doing. I was kind of reading on it a little bit earlier, but basically, Disney owns ESPN and ABC, and inside the NBA is more than likely going to end up on one of those networks. Again, I'm not sure which one. I know there's a whole bunch of stuff that still has to go on before it's official, but the same crew's still going to be there. And I assume everything's going to be the same, except it's just not going to be on TNT. Again, I'm not fully educated on it. I've been watching them. Obviously, after NBA games and stuff, you see them on and stuff like that. But it should still be pretty much the same crew and the same kind of gist of everything. It was cool. Obviously, Ernie's been on the longest, and he kind of got the last words last night at the end of the Pacers game after the Pacers beat the Knicks. And obviously, it's kind of emotional, but at the same time, like, all it is changing networks. Everything else is going to be the same, and then they mic drop and stuff like that. But it'll be interesting to see what ends up happening. It doesn't sound like anything's official, and at this time, I assume that Disney owns inside the NBA because, again, it's either going to go to ABC or ESPN, which Disney owns both. But we don't have to worry about that for about a year. What we do have to worry about is the NBA Finals. The NBA Finals are right around the corner. Let me move to the tab. Close that out. The NBA Finals, you have the Pacers versus the Thunder. The Thunder are heavy favorites this year. Game 1 is on Thursday, June 5th, so they have about a week of rest. The Thunder have been in for the last few days, and then the Pacers just got in last night. Again, this is as of June 1st. It is June 1st. But yes, the Thunder are heavy favorites. Tyrese Halliburton has become a household name, though, in the NBA. I mean, he has been on fire. He's been a freak athlete the last rounds. I mean, when they were playing the Knicks and even the round before that. So that's what's going to kind of give the Pacers a chance. I think that the Thunder win in probably 5. I think that the Pacers are going to win their first home game in game 3. But then I think after that, the Thunder will win. I think the Thunder will win games 1, 2, 4, and 5. And then the Pacers are going to sneak one in game 3 just because the Pacers are already going to have that lead. Kind of how the Pacers did against the Knicks, except for the Pacers instead of the Knicks this time. But man, these NBA playoffs, every year I forget, like, it's a 2-month long thing. It's how long? When do play-in games? When did the NBA play-in games take place? When was that? April 18th, April, May, June. Wait, all of April into May. It's like a 2-month thing. I forget that every year. It seems so long, these NBA playoffs, but I understand it's not like baseball where you can play every day, and then it's not like football where they're playing once a week and there is no series or anything like that. It's just one game. That's what's crazy about the NBA and the NHL. The NHL is the same thing. We'll talk a little bit about that later. But the Thunder are heavy favorites, and I think that they will win. The Pacers might be able to sneak 2 games in there, but I don't see a chance where it goes to Game 7. I mean, I understand that the Pacers have looked pretty good, but like the Thunder, man. I've been saying this for the last 2 months. I've been saying that the Thunder, no, more than 2 months. I've been saying this for the last 6 months that the Thunder are gonna win the NBA Finals. Go look back at past podcasts and TikToks and stuff like that. The Thunder have just had that kind of season, and there's no shot that the Pacers can beat that. And so I just can't see it going to Game 7. I think that it's going to be Game 5, maybe Game 6 if they really have to. But more about the NBA. Caitlin Clark obviously is now injured, but you now see all of the stats and graphs and everything. You see that Caitlin Clark has done for not only the Fever, but the WNBA in general. And I would argue that Caitlin Clark is one of the most well-known names in basketball, both NBA and WNBA and international, wherever else you want to see it. I think that Caitlin Clark is more popular than over 99% of NBA players. I got something in my throat. But yeah, Caitlin Clark obviously has made a name for herself since Iowa. But now that she's in the WNBA, I mean, and she's not playing, this is the first time that she hasn't played since high school. And she's just, all the graphs are down. All the Fever economics is just down. All the Fever tickets, all the Fever sales and stuff are just plummeting. And we see how much Caitlin Clark does for it. I mean, I would argue that the WNBA viewership all time versus the last 2 years have gone up over 50%. Have over doubled since Caitlin Clark has joined the league. She's just done so much. But where does she compare? Like, where's the line? So obviously LeBron James is more popular than Caitlin Clark. Obviously Steph Curry is more popular than Caitlin Clark. But where does that line meet? Like, obviously, I just was thinking of the most popular NBA players, and what I have is LeBron, Steph, KD, Luka Doncic, and Luka and Jokic. Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic. That's what I have. That's what I think that the most popular current NBA players are. Caitlin Clark, I think, is below LeBron, below Steph. Is Caitlin Clark more popular than Kevin Durant? And that's where the question really sits in. And then, is she more popular than Luka? But then you have to think about the Luka trade. I mean, that just spiraled heads everywhere. And that, like, everybody knew about. So then now everybody knows about Luka. And then, obviously, Jokic has been a dominant guy. I mean, all the memes and stuff, like, he doesn't really care about the game itself. And, like, the nonchalant, really, really good basketball guy. But where does Caitlin Clark fit in that? I think that, or even Anthony Edwards. I think Caitlin Clark slips between KD and Luka, and most popular basketball player in the world, both male and female. But that is wild that a WNBA player is more popular than Luka Doncic and Jokic and all these Tyrese Halliburton, who's been on fire. I think that Caitlin Clark is above all those guys, and I think that she's in between KD and Luka. It's just something I thought about. Or I think I saw a TikTok somewhere talking about it, but yeah. What else we got? Let's talk about the NHL. All right, so we were just talking about the NBA Finals. What about the NHL Stanley Cup Finals? You have the Oilers and Panthers. Now you might be saying, oh, I've heard of that matchup before. It's because you have. Last year, these same two teams played against each other. And guess what? I still got graphics for both teams, so I don't got to pay to make a graphic this year. But let me scroll here. Yeah, Panthers-Oilers Stanley Cup. It is going to be close. I mean, this is not going to be like the NBA where the Thunder are going to absolutely destroy the Pacers. Last year, the Panthers and Oilers, the Panthers ended up winning in Game 7. And this season, let me look up NHL standings because I know they were close. This year, the Panthers were 82-47, and the Oilers were... Let's go to the Pacific. 82-48. 82-48. 82-47. They had... Oh, my God. In the 2024-2025 season, the Panthers were 82-47, and the Oilers were 82-48. Oh, no. That's not true. I'm tripping. 48-25, 47-31. All right, that makes more sense. I thought I was going crazy. This year, the Panthers went 47-31, and the Oilers went 48-29. So virtually the same season. They faced each other. They made it all the way in the playoffs last year. They faced each other in the playoffs last year. They ended up going to the playoffs, or not the playoffs, the Stanley Cup Finals last year into Game 7. It's wild. I mean, it's going to be close. I don't know who's technically favored. I feel like every couple minutes it's changing, and it really doesn't matter. Oilers do start with home ice advantage. They have the first 2 games, and then the Panthers have the next 2 games. So that would ultimately lead... What would that ultimately lead to? That would ultimately lead to Stanley Cup Finals. That would mean that the Oilers would get the Game 7, right? That would mean that, the Oilers would get home ice for Game 7. So if it went down to that, the Oilers might have a slight advantage. But again, it's not much. I mean, this thing could potentially go to Game 7 and maybe overtime if it needs to in Game 7. I'm just seeing nowhere of who's favored. Nobody's favored. It's just a toss-up. Let's move on to MLB news. Oh, my goodness. All day my throat. I cannot talk. All right. MLB news. All right, we're going to do some MLB what ifs. I mean, what if this, what if that? How would that change the MLB forever? Let's start off with what if Trevor Bauer was never suspended? Obviously, he got into that huge case, ultimately got dismissed. But what about if he was never accused of anything? What about if Rob Manfred actually trusted the legal system? What about, what if Trevor Bauer wasn't suspended? What team would he be on? Would he still be with the Dodgers? Would he have the World Series champion? Would the Dodgers not win any more World Series? Would he go to a different team? There are so many what ifs. But what about if Anthony Rizzo, Javi Baez, and Chris Bryant were never traded from the Cubs? I mean, this was the real big 3. You want to talk about the Lakers? This was the real big 3. I mean, they won the World Series in 2016. And then they all kind of split up, and now they're all doing their own thing. Rizzo's all right. He's with the Yankees. Javi Baez is, I think, with the Tigers. He's not doing very good. And then Chris Bryant is with the Rockies? Is Chris Bryant? Chris Bryant is, with the Rockies since 2022. But, what about if these guys never split up? I mean, would the Cubs still be, where would the Cubs be at? What would happen with PCA? I always think about the new guys. Maybe the new guys won't be given that opportunity that really shined upon them. But what about if Aaron Judge caught the 5th inning ball? We all know what I'm talking about. In the 5th inning, those 3 major errors in the 5th inning that caused the Dodgers to win Game 5 and win the 2024 World Series. What about if Aaron Judge just caught that ball? I mean, I don't think that the Yankees would have won, but all Yankees fans are saying that the Yankees would have won that game and ultimately the World Series if they did, if Aaron Judge caught that ball. I personally don't think so. And maybe Juan Soto. Even if he caught that ball and the Yankees ended up winning the World Series, Juan Soto, I think, would want to re-sign with the Yankees. It's just wild. Just because he dropped that ball, there are infinite amount of what-ifs. What about Barry Bonds didn't take steroids? I mean, that's a big one. What about Barry Bonds didn't take steroids? What about the 2017 Astros didn't cheat in the World Series or in the regular season? I mean, would the Dodgers have won the World Series? Would it have been the Yankees-Dodgers World Series? Would have been so much so that the regular season would have changed and the Dodgers didn't even make the CS? Would it, like, there are so many what ifs that we will never, ever know just because the Astros cheated and didn't have respect for the game. What about if Mike Trout was drafted earlier and wasn't drafted by the Angels? I mean, would he have won a World Series? Would he have gotten more MVPs? Would he not have been the guy that he is today? Would he have not been generational talent? Would he have been a bust because he wasn't treated well in the farm system? Infinite amount of what ifs if he just got traded earlier. And what about if Jose Fernandez wasn't given the day off? So if you guys don't know the story, Jose Fernandez, you all know who he was. About 10 years ago, he died in a boating accident, and he went out on that boat is because he basically had an off day that the Marlins pitching coach gave to him, and then he went out and obviously crashed the boat and didn't come back. And he had the brightest future I've ever seen in a guy. I mean, he was like Paul Skeens. That's kind of cool to think about. Paul Skeens is kind of like the new Jose Fernandez. Jose Fernandez was that good. And what about if he was just not given the day off? What about if he just pitched that day? What about if the pitching coach was like, hey, you can't go out? It's just a lot of what ifs. A lot of what ifs. That's what we got for the MLB. And Kike Hernandez. Kike Hernandez is a fielder, a position player for the Dodgers. He's a great utility guy. Mainly plays middle infield and stuff like that. But, he can be put wherever he wants. And so basically when the Dodgers are up by a lot or down by a lot, happens a lot in the MLB. You put a position player in, you don't want to risk your bullpen, especially the Dodgers' arms. It's just risky right now. The Dodgers is just full of injuries every single year. So you put Kike Hernandez in the ninth inning. This is his second, this is his second pitching appearance of the year. And what we have seen from him is him using this kind of shell hat. And basically, this was introduced in 2016, but nobody wore it. About 2 or 3 times a year, a line drive comes back at the pitcher and hits him in the head at 100+ miles per hour. A baseball is, 5 ounces? It doesn't feel good. Coming in at over 100 miles an hour from a bat, 60 feet, 6 inches away, doesn't feel good. So what pitchers should do is wear this. But in 2016, what the problem was, it wasn't fashionable. Nobody wanted to wear that. They looked stupid. But who cares? They're making millions of dollars. And I haven't seen any real studies done about this, but it could be slight discomfort. And again, if a pitcher gets uncomfortable and then he starts throwing wild, I could see a slight problem with that. But other than that, if you are a below average pitcher, don't risk it. Do what Kike Hernandez is doing. Obviously, he does not care what his public presence is like at all. I mean, if we all know who Kike Hernandez is. So why not wear that? I don't understand why pitchers aren't wearing that. Bobby Miller has been wearing that since coming back from rehab and stuff like that. After he got hit, he got drilled by a pitch. And, you don't want to play that what-if game that we were just playing. You don't want to play the what-if game and you get concussed, a season-ending, a career-ending injury because of line drive to the head. MLB's allowing it. Nobody's taking them up on the opportunity. It's nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault but theirs until, I don't know if you want to wear a base coach's helmet. I just don't know what you want to do. But yeah, I would honestly wear that if I were pitching. All right, let's move on to MLB standings. We're just going to go over some MLB standings. The Yankees are 35-22. They have, I will warn you, at the time of this recording, June 1st, they have lost their last 2 games to the Dodgers. I mean, it's so unfortunate. But they are still in first in their division by 5 games because the Blue Jays, Rays, Red Sox, and Orioles suck this year. The AL East went from the hardest division to the easiest division. The AL Central, you have the Tigers who are comfortably in first with 6 games ahead of the Guardians. And then the Twins are right behind them, then Royals, and then the White Sox are a lost cause. Once again, they have less than 20 wins. The Mariners are 31-26, tied with the Astros, who are 32-27. They both are 3.5 games ahead of the Rangers, but the Astros were down by a few games. The Astros were down by 2 or 3 games last week, and then they kind of caught back up. The Astros are 7-3 in their last 10 games, and the Mariners are 4-6 in their last 10 games. So just not not a great last couple weeks for the Mariners. The Athletics 23-37. Again, you would think that they're horrible, but guess what? You're competing against teams like the Royals, not Royals, the White Sox and Rockies. Let's move on to the National League. The Mets have a 1-game advantage over the Phillies. Those teams are going to go back and forth for the rest of the season. The Nationals are 8.5 games behind the Mets. The Braves and the Marlins are probably not going to make the playoffs. The Braves might come back, but they're not looking good. They're in another slump. Again, you get Ronald Acuna Jr. back and you go 3-7. No bueno for the Braves. They have a small chance at making the playoffs. In the NL Central, you have the Cubs, who are 3.5 games ahead of the Cardinals. Then you have the Brewers, who are doing good. They're 32-28, but they're 5 games behind the Cubs. And then the Pirates, again, a lost cause. And then for the hardest division, not even the hardest division, just it's not even a tough division. I don't even know why I said that. It's not a tough division. The NL West, you have the Dodgers in first place. They are 3 games ahead of the Padres. The Padres suck. The Padres are 5-5 in their last 10 games. They are 32-24. But the highlight of the NL West is the Rockies, because just this afternoon they lost their 50th game. Oh my goodness, should have popped confetti from that. The Rockies are now 9-50. They have gotten 50 losses before 10 wins. It is an utter embarrassment to be in the same division as the Rockies, but at the same time, it's kind of funny. They are 6-22 at home, 3-28 away. There are 1-9 in their last 10 games. They need like a recession. We need Rockies recession. Put that on a t-shirt. Rockies recession. With like, bro, I might come up with a shirt like that. Let's see if I can get the Rockies to sign off on that one. But the Rockies recession, that's what we're officially naming this era. We're gonna officially name this era of the Rockies recession, because they have had less than 10 wins after losing 50 games. Wild. 27.5 games back. They are on pace to be eliminated from the playoffs before the All-Star break. Speaking of the All-Star break, let's go over who we think should be in the Home Run Derby this year. The All-Star break is about a month away, right? It's usually in July. I assume so. But the big thing, especially last year, Teoscar Hernandez got to represent. That he won the Home Run Derby last year. Who should and should not be in the Home Run Derby this year? Shohei Ohtani, I think, is too much of a risk. I'm going to add that because I want to talk about that later. Shohei Ohtani, I think, is too much of a risk. He's working on going back to pitching. He's working on, obviously, having a spectacular season. I don't think that he should be in the Home Run Derby this year. Again, I just think I would love to see a Dodger win, but it just can't be Shohei. It's too much of a risk. Cal Raleigh has 22 home runs, tied with Shohei Ohtani. He should 100% be in the Home Run Derby. This would help boost his career off. Help him get known more, because I feel like a lot of people aren't talking about the greatest catcher in the league right now just because he's a rookie. Or this year, he's got to be a rookie. I feel like a lot of people aren't talking about Cal Raleigh, but he's been on fire, and I think he should. It's not like Shohei Ohtani where he has to pitch or something. I don't think it's a big liability for the Mariners. Obviously, I don't think that they're making the playoffs. So I do think that Cal Raleigh should. Aaron Judge, I see a reason why you don't want him to. Again, he's on fire. He's been on fire for the last 3 seasons. You don't want to stop that. Again, I think it's a little bit of a risk there. But again, like I said, Raleigh, I think Raleigh. I don't know why I keep saying Raleigh. Raleigh. He doesn't have a whole bunch of risk. I mean, I understand he's been on fire. I just feel like he doesn't have a whole bunch of risk. Kyle Schwarber, he's been in the Home Run Derby before. Why not do it again? He's getting old. Might as well. Corbin Carroll, I also think should. Taylor Ward, I don't think he should. I don't think he would have a really good chance at winning. He's been on fire this year, but I just don't think he should. Pete Crow Armstrong, I think that he should. He's had a fire first third of the season, and I think that, again, this would kind of be like Raleigh, where, hey, just kind of boost his career off. He's young. Just do the fun stuff while you're young, and then later worry about your team winning World Series and stuff. Gino Suarez, I could see a place where he's doing that, where he could be doing that. I wouldn't mind if he did that. Obviously, as a Dodgers fan, I'm not a huge Gino Suarez fan, but I respect the game that he's been playing. And then, I don't know, who's another guy we should throw in there? Who's another guy that should be in the home run derby? Spencer Torkelson? Yeah, give him a shot. But yeah, that's just, we're going off of, we got a month away. We got to start voting. We have to start doing the All-Star voting and stuff soon. But let's go over the league leaders. We kind of just went over them. Shohei Ohtani, Cal Raleigh, Aaron Judge, Kyle Schwarber, Corbin Carroll leading in home runs. Shohei and Raleigh been on fire recently. Who has the highest batting average in the league? Aaron Judge is not at 400, but he is at 398. Maybe tonight he changes that. Sunday Night Baseball. Make sure you tune in. Freddie Freeman in second, batting 374. But I will say that he was injured for a good part of the season, and he has only had 174 at-bats compared to Judge's 216. It's not that much more. Jacob Wilson, again, a guy not a lot of people are talking about. He plays for the A's. He's had his fair share of it. He's batting 357. But again, not a lot of people are talking about Jacob Wilson. We got to start talking about him. And then Will Smith for the Dodgers. He's batting 342. Who's leading? Who has the highest OPS? That would obviously be Aaron Judge. Leading in both batting average and home runs. He has a 1.268 OPS. That is wild. Freddie Freeman far behind him. I would say not far, but that's pretty far behind him at a 1.078. Shohei's at a 1.062. And then Cal Raleigh is at a 1.002. Oh, boy, you better not strike out. But yeah, let's talk about Shohei Ohtani and his pitching. We kind of talked about this before. I heard a take, I believe it was from Big Papi. Should Shohei Ohtani be a closer? And it brings up a lot of questions. And I've had, I don't know, about a day or two to think about it, and I'm not sure what I think about this. Obviously, Shohei Ohtani is an incredible pitcher with some nasty stuff. Shohei Ohtani has some nasty. If you have not watched literally, if you have not watched every single one of his bullpens, you are missing out. I've been watching his bullpens every single day. It's just unbelievable. Shohei Ohtani is an unbelievable pitcher. And he has the stuff to be a starter, except it's a huge liability. Obviously, he had Tommy John, and he doesn't have a great arm anymore. And he's injury prone. He's a big risk to the Dodgers. If he gets hurt pitching, well, that means he can't hit. Well, what's his wins above replacement with the Dodgers so far this season? 3+? I mean, we kind of need that. We're only, 3.5 games behind the Padres. So I don't think it's a horrible idea to put him in the bullpen. It's low liability. It's not a high risk. And I think he would be great closing, except the thing is the Dodgers have a huge bullpen. We have tons of bullpen guys, and I feel like there's a point where our starters are great, and our bullpens just need to be consistent with the game. Like, all the bullpen's got to do is just keep the guys from scoring. Like, they don't have to throw 1,000 strikeouts. They don't have to strike everybody out. Just let the offense do their things and don't give up 1,000 runs. That's just all that the Dodgers bullpen needs to do. So then that at the same time, that's kind of a waste for Shohei. Shohei has the potential to win Cy Young next year. And obviously a closer isn't going to win Cy Young. But I think that it's an interesting idea. And I think that the front office and Dave Roberts should take that into consideration. Maybe if he's not a great starter, if he has a 4+ ERA, then maybe you put him down in the bullpen and see what he does. But I think might be a little bit of a waste of Ohtani to, again, this guy comes once in literally a lifetime. We have never seen a guy like Shohei Ohtani. And I think it would be a waste if he just got kind of thrown in the bullpen and wasn't given his full potential. But, I'm not the front office for the Dodgers. Let's go over the top 5 MLB farm systems. Sorry, let me move to this tab. Where we at? At number 5, we have the Seattle Mariners, who have Cole Emerson, Lazaro Montes, Cole Young, Harry Ford, all of these guys they have in their farm system. Mariners are going to be good in the next few seasons. But again, I think I said that a few seasons ago, so, maybe we're still kind of waiting on that. At number 4, you have none other than your World Series champions, Los Angeles Dodgers, who have always had a great farm system. But a lot of these guys are being called up. Dalton Rushing, he just got called up, and he's been absolutely on fire. Roki Sasaki is technically a prospect, been on fire. De Paula is like a top, I don't know, he's top 30 prospect, I bet, in the MLB. Jackson Ferris, the pitcher, he's been on fire. Like, the Dodgers just have so many guys just in the farm system, just kind of, Alex Freeland, even, like, just all these guys. They're going to be amazing. The Dodgers are going to be amazing until, like, we have to pay Shohei Ohtani, but hopefully inflation's up by then. At number 3, make a podium, you have the Boston Red Sox. They just called up Marcel a couple weeks ago. They have a great farm system. They've been kind of like the average farm system the last couple seasons, but over the last season, they've picked up some guys. Christian Campbell is a big prospect that they had. This is his rookie season. He's been on fire with the Red Sox. Roman Anthony, Mayer, like I said, Franklin, Arias. Could be good. 1 second. Just got a notification from Jeff Passan. Let me see what it says. Short intermission. You get an alert from Jeff Passan. You got to read it. Jeffrey. Jeff Passan, reporting live literally 29 seconds ago. Veteran first baseman outfielder Dom Smith is exercising his out clause with the New York Yankees, a source tells ESPN. Smith has been at AAA and had a big May, hitting .317, .389, .622 with 7 home runs. He is now officially a free agent. Let's see what these first comments are saying about this. Who wants to be a Skanky? Future Padres legend, shout out to DSG, literally 29 seconds ago. Yankee, the Dodgers, I'm just saying, the Dodgers could pick this guy up. Put him in the farm system. We're ranking our farm system right now. I'm just saying, the Dodgers, why can't we pick this guy up? No, he's for the streets. Not good. Dom Smith, he can go to the Padres. Padres do need some help. But yeah, where were we? We were at the Red Sox. All right. At number 2, we have none other than the Tampa Bay / Tampa / Yankees Stadium / St. Pete / where's my tab / Tampa Bay Rays. They have the number 2 best farm system. They have Carson Williams, Xavier Isaac, Braden Taylor, Trey Morgan. They just have these guys. They have all these guys there at number 2. They're going to be, I'm not saying they're going to be good, but they're second. No, the Blue Jays are second. They're not second. I don't know where they are. They might be good the next few seasons. And then oh my goodness, then the number 1, the best MLB farm system goes to the Detroit Tigers. Jackson Jobe, Max Clark is a big one for them. Kevin McMoggle, I don't even know how you say his name. I know who it is. I just don't know how to say it. Bryce Rayner, all these guys. The Tigers are going to be good. The Tigers are good, and we've been seeing how they've had a consistent good farm system. And then now, hey, guess what? Those farm system guys are up, and here we are. And they're really, really, really good this season. All right, let's move on to Hall of Fame, yay or nay. All right, Hall of Fame, yay or nay, big name in the game, Tyrese Halliburton, 2-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA. He's only been playing since 2020. He's never led the league in anything except for assists in 23-24 season where he had 10.9 assists. He's just young. He's making it to the finals this year. The Pacers are looking for their first NBA Finals win, but it's just going to be a nay. He's just too young. Give me 5-10 more years. We'll revisit the topic. But yeah, it's going to be a nay. And that is going to do it for the 101st episode of the HatTrick Sports Podcast. Make sure you follow us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. You can listen to podcasts wherever you listen to podcasts. You can listen to our podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, including YouTube for all the visuals. Follow Twitter too, in case I didn't say that. We'll see you guys next week for episodes 102. See ya!